Welcome to the Bullyball podcast. Today we are talking NFL draft, and that's it. Straight NFL draft. We're 11 days away. It's exciting times. We're going to dive into the sleepers. Everybody knows the top guys in the draft class. We're going deep. We found dudes that, they may be on the back end of the draft or undrafted, but there are some dogs back there. So stay tuned. We're going to jump right in. And we have a lot of guests coming on today as well, so tune in.
Tony Montana, Tony Montana, Tony Montana, check up on my ear. Tony Montana, Tony Montana, Tony Montana, I'm about to cut the...
All right, let's jump right into it. Go ahead and get us started.
Alrighty. So like you said, another episode of Bully Ball with me, Alex, and then my co-host Joseph. How you doing down in Florida?
Doing good. We got some nice weather the past couple days. A little hot finally.
Yep. We're going to be going, as in myself and my family are going to be going down to Florida in May. So we might have a couple episodes that are filmed together in person. So stay tuned for that. Some exciting stuff. As Joseph said earlier, all about the NFL draft this episode. I'm going to get into some sleepers and maybe not some sleepers, maybe just some good players to look out for as well. Alrighty.
Yes, sir. So we have... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say you can kick it off.
So we have one sleeper each at every single position, and we are going to bring on some guests to let us know who they think are the sleepers of this draft. So we'll jump right in with our quarterback sleeper. My quarterback sleeper is Cole Kelly. He's currently at Southeast Louisiana. He is a transfer from Arkansas, so he was playing in the SEC, transferred down to the FCS level. He's 6'7", 250. And I was watching the combine, and you know how they focus on like the big QBs like Malik Willis and Matt Corral and all them. And they were running like deep routes, like flies, deep outs, flags, posts, stuff like that. And this dude was just dropping them in the bucket. Like the whole combine, I was like, who the hell is this guy? And so his PFF grade over the past 2 years was over 90. He had 5,156 yards passing, 43 TDs, 10 ints, and he also had 491 yards rushing and 10 rushing TDs. 16 rushing TDs. So I haven't really seen him like people have him draftable. They see him as like undrafted free agent. And I think he could be one of the steals of the draft at QB.
Yeah, and I know you've been pretty high on him for a while now, because I remember you talking about him a little bit earlier in the offseason.
Yeah, I saw him at the combine initially, and I was like, dang, this dude, he's pretty nice.
All right, so my sleeper quarterback is Caleb Ellaby, not sure how to say his last name, out of Western Michigan. He's 6'1", 210. Let's see. So he redshirted his freshman year in 2018. You know how the red shirts are weird. You can still redshirt and play some games.
Yeah.
He's on the smaller side, with Trey Lance being a bigger quarterback. This guy is a little bit of a smaller dude, but he is a runner. He can run. He finished his career with a 45-11 touchdown interception ratio. So 45 touchdowns to 11 picks, which is great. They say he has great leadership qualities, which you love to see, especially for a backup. If you're not going to play much, you want to have those good qualities, leadership qualities, and many other things. In the last 2 seasons, he had 41 touchdowns and 8 picks. So like we said, that goes well against his touchdown to interception ratio. And good accuracy. He runs pretty well. He can throw off platform. So if you guys are looking for a more mobile type quarterback, not just a pocket passer or somebody that's mobile and can get out and let it rip, this is the guy for that for sure. Last year he had 3,200 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 6 picks. So pretty
Is he
well.
where's he projected to go around, you think? Have you seen anything?
So he was kind of like the same as your guy. They had him listed as a priority undrafted free agent. So one of those top guys that'll probably go pretty quick once they get there.
And it was interesting. We did a podcast with Jason Poe last week. He's a lineman prospect, and he was saying that teams they're telling him to like stay quiet because they want to get him later. It's kind of interesting what teams will do to make players try to like keep them on the down low in the draft.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's hop into running backs. So my running back is Max Borghi from Washington State. Dude is like legit like a McCaffrey clone, and I'm not just saying because he's white, but like same build, same stature, 5'10", 205, and he's probably, I'd say, top 3 pass catching back in this draft. So he tore his ACL in high school. I found that out when doing some research on him. He ran a 4.5 40 at his pro day, but he was coming off an ankle injury. So he looks a bit faster on tape. He had 24 rush TDs and 102 catches since 2019. He seems like more of a zone runner, like he's kind of small. He's not going to be able to run straight up the middle, but definitely if you need like a third down back that's going to pass catch, not pass block, he could be the guy.
Yeah, I know that's somebody that we were both pretty high on because I was also tempted to have him as my sleeper, but I figured I'd throw somebody else. And I know we pulled up a stat for Max Borghi from, I think, 2 years ago, and he had like a crazy amount of receptions that year. So if you need a pass catching back, that's the guy. My sleeper running back, I'm not sure he's much of a sleeper now after he performed at the combine, but it's Pierre Strong he's out of a smaller school. Let me see, South Dakota State. So getting into his 40 time, he ran a 4.37 40, which was the fastest of any other running backs at the combine. He had 1,694 rushing yards last year for an average of 7.1 yards, 18 touchdowns, and then he had 22 receptions on 34 targets for 150 reception yards. And his previous 2 years, he had about the same receiving wise. He had 1,000 yards rushing his freshman year, then sophomore year he had 708. The big thing here is so carries of 15 plus yards, and this is for all of FBS, so all of college football. He had 30 carries of 15 plus yards, which is first in all of college football. So that's pretty impressive. He's going to be that home run hitter. Like his speed translates to the field, which is what you like to see. In his zone grade, which is what a lot of teams are getting to now, is that outside zone scheme. He had a 92.1 zone grade. So that's pretty good. Like I know the 49ers run that zone scheme. So any team that runs that, I'm sure that Pierre Strong's on the radar. I think, like I said, I'm not sure he's much of a sleeper anymore after his showing at the combine. So he'll probably go, I've seen around like 4th, 5th round, maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere around there. But yeah, somebody that I definitely like and should keep our eyes on for any team that needs a running back.
Yeah, he definitely is a home run hitter. He breaks those long runs, doesn't get caught. And that's what you like to see from a running back, because you hate when they break out and get tracked down in like the 30 and then you still got to try to score. It's rough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to send out the link if anyone wants to hop on. If you have any offensive prospects, that's what we're talking right now. we're going to go ahead and hop into wide receivers. My wide receiver is Derek Young. He is from Lenore Ryan Division II school, same school that Jason Poe played at before transferring. He is 6'2", 225, and he was in the wing T offense, right? Very interesting prospect. Wing T offense, so he played in a 3-point stance as a wide receiver. So he had 658 rush yards and 8 TDs. And then he had 1,176 receiving yards and 16 TDs receiving for 16.1 yards per catch. He ran a 4.41 40. He had an 11.3 broad jump, 37-inch vert, and he often had to block DNs because he was in that wing T. So very interesting prospect, going to be very raw running routes, but he has the athleticism for the Kyle Shanahan type scheme. He took a bunch of end arounds, and he beat corners often. I mean, it is D2, but very interesting prospect to me.
Yep. So my receiver that I highlighted was Kyle Phillips out of UCLA. He is mainly a slot receiver, so he's pretty small. He's a smaller dude, somewhat. He's 5'11", 191 pounds. Ran a 4.58 40, so that's not like scorching or anything. That's about where some of the slot receivers are running, is around that time, a little slow, but he's very good in his routes. He gets open from the slot. He had, in all of FBS, he had 55 slot catches, which was tied for 33rd, which is impressive considering all of college football. And he had 685 slot yards as well. So out of the slot, he had 685 yards. Last year, he had 59 receptions on 94 targets for 739 yards and an impressive 10 touchdowns. 10 touchdowns, which is pretty good for a slot receiver. And his grade against man coverage was 80.6. So that's pretty good. He's going to be winning against those slot corners. Somebody I think the 49ers should be interested in, because look at what Cooper Kupp did, He dominated the NFL in the slot this year. So I think if you can have a very good slot receiver like that, somebody that can get open, even if it's not deep, just on those short intermediate routes, I think that's very important for a successful offense. So
He's very
somebody
reminiscent of
definitely,
Hunter Renfro
yeah.
in that they're not very fast, but they just win on their routes in the slot.
Yep. Something to compare here that I just wanted to bring up. So he, like I said, he ran a 4.58 40. Cooper Kupp ran a 4.62 40. So Kyle Phillips is actually a little bit faster than Cooper Kupp. I mean, something to keep your eye on, Just because you don't have that top-notch speed doesn't mean you can't win in the NFL. So I'm a big fan of Kyle Phillips.
Yeah, I think he'll get on a team and he'll stay on a team for a while. May not ever
Yeah.
be a number one receiver, but he's one of those guys. You need him to win one-on-one on third down. He can do it.
And like you said, you compared him to Hunter Renfro. Hunter Renfro also ran a 4.59. So Kyle
Yep.
Phillips has 0.01 seconds faster. But that's those slot receivers, they're not very fast, but if they can win with their suddenness and elusiveness and just hit those quick routes, get in and out of your cuts, that's what wins you reps in the slot. So that's somebody I'm keeping my eye on for sure.
Yep. So tight end, I have a very interesting one. This guy, he might get drafted like maybe 7th round just based on potential, or he's going to go undrafted. But his name is Armani Rogers. He is 6'5", 233. He played for Ohio last season, Ohio. Transferred there from UNLV. He was a QB in college. And he has the longest rushing TD in NCAA history, 99 yards. He went to the UCLA Pro Day and ran a 4.56 40 for a tight end, 10-10 broad jump, 34-inch vert, which is kind of low. But he went to the Shrine Bowl and he played tight end exclusively there. That was his first time ever playing tight end, and he was cooking linebackers. So definitely he has athletic ability. He was a running QB in college, so he can play. If a team picks him up based on traits and can mold him, you never know. It's going to be interesting.
My tight end that I have is Derek Deese out of San Jose State. So he's a local prospect. 6'4", 235. This dude is one of my favorite prospects in the draft. So he had 47 receptions on 83 targets, 720 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So he averaged 15.3 yards per reception, which is insane. This is where he makes his money, is the deep receptions. So he had 9 deep catches, which is tied for second out of all tight ends in college football. He had 216 deep yards, which is tied for 7th. 8 contested catches, which is tied for 10th. And then 12.7 yards per average depth of target, which is tied for 7th as well. And he only had 4 drops, which is great. So he's going to win deep, with those contested catches. He's a bigger dude. And he's pretty good in run blocking, like pretty impressive. He can win those run block reps, like what the Niners look for in a tight end. The thing that's interesting is his 40 time, because I know me and you were talking about it. We really couldn't find it. But it was the unofficial things that we were seeing was pretty slow. I think it was around like a 4.8, 4.9 or something, right? Yeah. Which is pretty slow because you have offensive linemen that weigh 300 plus pounds that are running faster than him. So that'll be something interesting to see. But if he can get his speed up, maybe lose a couple pounds, I don't know, something, see what his actual 40 time is, I think he'd be a threat. I think he'd be perfect for the 49ers. Fits that blocking, athletic tight end that they need.
Yeah, I wish he was at the 49ers local pro day. He had a top 30 visit with a different team that day, so he didn't show up. Unfortunate. But we have a guest coming on, our friend Dom. He's a Saints fan. How's it going, Dom? Hello? Hello? I don't think
running
you can hear
some
us.
Technical difficulties.
How's it going, Dom? Hello?
Clearly, our guest is doing some note taking, some research.
CJ Ruthless Sports interviewed Jason Poe as well. Yeah, he was a great guy. We interviewed him last week, and he's finishing his master's degree. Freak athlete, great guy. CJ hopped on as well. Let's pull him on the screen as well.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's up, man? But yeah, that dude was an awesome dude. Like, he's definitely like a guy that's kind of like moved from different positions, and he can really pull well for his size. And if you watch his old highlights of his days when he was playing at Lenore Ryan or whatever, he had the motivation speak like a Ray Lewis in the locker room, which kind of stands out. And then he told me, like, if he gets drafted by the Niners, he wants to come back on my show, which is kind of interesting. And then let's see, Derek Deese, I tried to reach out to him, no response, but it's whatever. But I got this guy I got his teammate coming on my show, which will be on the 22nd. Jay Leonard. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. San Jose State safety.
No, I haven't seen him yet.
I'll have to look into it.
I had Spencer Buford on my show like months ago.
Yeah,
that guy's another prospect.
Spencer.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's very mean when he pulls as well. That dude he be lining.
He can play guard or tackle.
Yeah. And I know Poe too. He recently posted a workout video of him, and he was like doing the fullback drills, taking those out routes and stuff, which was interesting just to show.
What up? My bad.
He said whatever the coach asked him to play, he's going to do it. Like he even said he was going to do some center snaps too, and guard. That's pretty much what they've been asking him to do is like guard and center. But he's been doing a little bit of center snaps too.
Yeah, he's
saw those
versatile.
Yeah, and then Tristan Taylor, who just recently met with the 49ers, I just interviewed him like a few days ago. He said that he was asked to like work out at tackle, but then played. He said he can play guard or center, but center would be a little of adjustment for him that he can learn from.
Yeah, I think the versatility too for the 49ers and really any team is huge. You know, being able to play at least two of the positions on the offensive line is huge for any team when they draft an offensive lineman, because you don't just want like a Aaron Banks situation where he only can play guard. Really, he can't play center, can't play tackle. So it's something interesting.
I mean, versatility is a plus, but I'd rather have a true starter at that one spot. You know, Aaron Banks is supposed to be that way, but I heard he can play center too, because he did play some center in college. If I'm mistaken.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta look at the Notre Dame playing days where before he went to guard, he was playing a little bit of center. So
gotcha.
And then let's see. The one offensive lineman that I'll be okay with at that one position is Marquise Hayes. I think he's a natural and he's a beast. Like I think he's better than Aaron Banks because you look at the way he pass blocks. Name any other Oklahoma offensive lineman that's produced at the next level. There's a lot of good ones. And Creed Humphrey, last year's draft pick by the Chiefs, he was one of the top centers in the draft, or at least one of the top linemen out there.
Yeah, he's a great player, definitely.
And Trent Williams, one of the best, and probably maybe first ballot Hall of Famer, comes out of Oklahoma. So anytime you draft an Oklahoma Sooners lineman, you're going to get a bona fide stud.
I agree with you there. So Marquise Hayes, look out for him.
That dude, like, I don't know if you saw some of the Senior Ball highlights. That dude pancake a couple of defenders to the ground.
Yeah, he's one of the bigger guys too that I was interested in seeing what the 49ers do, because with Trey Lance, I wanted to see if they keep those kind of smaller linemen or if they try to get big dudes, you know, that can just win in the box and beat guys one-on-one. So we'll see what they do this year. It's going to be very interesting.
I wouldn't mind Buford or Poe because, I mean, even though Poe's undersized, but he makes up for it. He can move fast. That's what I like about him.
Dom, you got any O-linemen you were looking at or anything of that nature?
Well, can I get into my receiver real quick just because I missed that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was looking up a receiver, like two of them, but one for sure. I like how you said Kyle Phillips. I like Wan'Dale Robinson out of Kentucky, University of Kentucky. He ran a 4.4 40 time. He's 5'11", 185. He's a junior coming out. His stats for 2021 were 1,334 yards, 7 touchdowns on 104 receptions, and he averaged 12.8 yards per reception, which is very good for one season. I don't think people have been talking about him enough. He's really fast on the field, very shifty. He can play slot or outside. I think the Saints could pick him up at 16 if he's still there, or 19, or was it 18, 19, one of the two. I wouldn't mind him. If he falls deeper than that, he'd be great. His 2020 season, he didn't really do much. 461 yards for 51 receptions, 1 touchdown. So it seems like in his 2021 year, he really like stepped it up, uptick in production. And when he was forced to perform, he did it. So I like him. I think he might fall just because of that. Another guy I like is, like I said, Bo Melton, receiver out of Rutgers. He ran a 4.34. He can play outside, also play slot. Let me see. I didn't look up his stats. I can find that.
Yeah, Bo Melton was definitely one of the guys that I liked too going into the draft process. I thought he just has versatility. You know, he can take those end arounds. He can do a lot of things, probably has return ability too. So that was definitely somebody I was looking into as well.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of maybe like a Tyreek Hill or like a Deebo Samuel. Same with Wan'Dale Robinson. Maybe even like who's that guy that the Cardinals picked up, that little fast guy? I can't remember him. He's a receiver.
Oh, Rondell Moore, right?
No, that's another
Isabella?
For the Cardinals right now.
Yeah, is it Andy Isabella or is it Rondé Moore?
Andy Isabella. He's
Well,
kind of
there's another receiver that nobody's talking about in this draft that's coming as a late round. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, Texas Tech receiver Eric. I don't know how you say his name, but they call him Easy. That dude's a beast.
Nice.
I like him. I'm surprised he's not even mentioned on some list, but he's a sleeper that I definitely like the Niners to check out.
Yeah, he's a bit bigger than Debo, but he plays the same style of ball as him. You know, he gets that yak. They throw him tunnel screens. He's a great guy. He's a great player. I tried to get him on here, but he never responded.
I've done the
running
same
back
with
as well.
I've done the same with a lot of them too, but some of them come with response, some of them come and go. But it's kind of hard to get all the prospects, man. You got to get the small schools sometimes, because usually when you message the small school prospects, they're more interested. Like Jason Poe, he answered immediately. Let's see.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jason Badaho, the guy from Texas Southern. He responded quickly. He's getting some buzz now. Everybody's talking about him as a draft sleeper. 14 teams are interested of him. Now, that's a guy you might want to check out because he's from Texas Southern, same college as Michael Strahan, but he's getting some buzz out there, so that's a good thing. And then speaking of another player that nobody talks about as much in the draft that should get some recognition, in my opinion, is since you guys are talking like receivers, right? Another receiver that nobody's even mentioning. Like, I don't get why nobody gives this guy enough love. I mean, he's in the top 10 in some perspective, but Alec Pierce should get more buzz. This guy's raw.
Pierce, nice.
Yeah, he's raw, bro. Like, I don't get it. Like, you're going to rank those other receivers higher, bro. He should be a little bit higher because you're looking for that next Cooper Kupp or maybe somebody like maybe more of a consistency like this guy. This guy can separate.
Yeah, he gives me Jordy Nelson vibes, if I'm being honest. If I'm talking a little bit of
Nelson too,
player. Yeah.
He's got the body.
Faster 40 too.
We're talking about Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, but he's got the body like Nelson, but he's got the Cooper Kupp ability.
Yep.
Yeah.
Traylon Burks is nice. You guys don't like Traylon Burks?
Oh yeah, that dude from Arkansas. That dude plays like a running back out there, dude. That dude's a beast.
Nasty.
I mean, he runs pretty fast for his size, but he's tough to tackle. Like, I heard that he's kind of like another Deebo Samuel, and then there's this other guy from Southern Alabama or South Alabama. What's his name? Jalen Tolberg. That's another guy I'm hearing about.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of what's his name? Christian Watson out of Sandy?
Oh, dude, he's already
South
moving on
Dakota?
draft boards. That guy's Trey Lance's teammate, bro. He's fast.
Yeah,
He's fast as hell, bro.
Super fast. He can
he's
win over the top for sure.
He can do jet sweeps too, from what I was told. I'm looking at a lot of the plays, but he's gonna probably be gone before we get him.
Yeah. That's who
he might fall because I haven't heard a lot of people talk about him.
But I think Alec Pierce should get some more mention.
Yeah, and he ran a 4.36 40. And he's 6'5", 208.
Actually, he ran an unofficial time of 4.2, but then they just put a 4.36. If you look at the combine,
he's fast. Basically, he's fast as shit, and he's 6'5". And
it's kind of like Randy Moss speed.
Yeah, and Traylon Burks, in comparison, he ran a 4.55. And
that's normal for
6'4", 6'5".
That's about normal for his size. I mean, some receivers are not going to always run fast, but see, like there's a couple of guys I do like. But speaking of a guy like a Juwan Jennings, I do see like that Eric, what's his name, from Texas Tech. He kind of gives you that vibe, a little bit more of a Juwan Jennings with speed difference. He's definitely a good guy. Like a tight end that nobody's ever even mentioning about is Cole Turner. I think he's going to be raw, bro. That dude from Nevada. He's good, bro. He's very consistent, and he can but then I'm hearing a lot of good vibes about this Trey McBride from Colorado State. Yeah, that dude's fucking good.
Yeah, he's a good player too. I think he's gonna go probably early second round now.
Early second round, but there's another tight end that I like also, but I don't know if we're gonna get him. But there's this kid from Maryland. This dude's raw, bro. Raw potential.
Chig Owonkwo or something.
Yeah, that's how you say his name. But he's got some blazing speed too, and then there's another one. I mean, Derek Deese is all right. I think he runs I think he's solid because he's productive for that conference. But there's another guy from another And there's a couple of good tight ends coming out of this. Like that dude from Iowa State, Charlie Kohler, that dude's consistent.
Yeah, he's good.
Chig Okoronkwo. I know me and Joseph were talking about it. His testing and the way he measured up was identical to Delaney Walker coming out of college. Like they have the exact same size. Their 40 time was similar. Broad jump, vert, everything was like dead on. So if you can develop him, like the 49ers did with Delaney Walker, they let him develop behind Vernon Davis, and Delaney Walker went on to be one of the better tight ends in the league for a couple of years. So if you can do that with like a Chig, I think that'd be solid.
Yeah, all right. We got someone else gonna come on, so we'll go ahead and take you off, CG. Thanks
All right,
for
man. I'll
coming
catch
on.
y'all later, bro.
We appreciate
thanks for
you.
coming on.
Dom, you got anybody else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I was gonna talk
What's up,
about
guys?
Gene Dallas. He's an O lineman out of Florida. 6'3", 296 pounds. 10 and 1/8 hand size, 36.5 arm length. He can play right tackle, but he can also play inside guard. If you look up the highlights versus Will Anderson of Alabama, he put him on his ass. Just to show you who Will Anderson is. Just last year, he had 17.5 sacks and 57 tackles solo. 17.5 sacks in one season. That was number one. And he had 55 tackles total. And this guy, if you watch his highlights, he put him up like, get on the ground, boy. Pancake blocks all day. So
What is he? Is he a tackle or a guard?
he's a guard and tackle. The highlights I was looking up, he can play both. That's good. To have versatility. Another guy that's versatile is Daniel Fulalele. Have you guys heard of him a little?
Yeah, he was one of my favorite. The dude's like 6'9", 3.
He's very good. I like him better than Evan Neal. I know everybody's talking about him at offensive tackle, but I mean, I like this guy right here. I'm looking up his stats right now just to get a.
Who is the guy from Florida? What was his name?
I got you. Gene Delance, Delance, out of Florida.
Gene Dallin. So I'll have to look into it.
How's it going, Carcast?
What's up, man? We talking draft sleepers?
Yes, sir. You got any?
Yeah, man. I think Calvin Austin, Tyquan Thornton. I think Cole Strange, man. I really like Cole Strange out of Chattanooga. I think he's really good. He's really versatile. He moves well. So,
yeah, Cole Strange is nice. He's a mean dude.
I like him, man. Yeah. And Tyquan Thornton, like he ran a 4.2 at the 40, man. This guy's big. He's 6'3", 182. This man is fast and he can fly down the field. So, I think he's a sleeper in the draft. I think he can move up on some people's draft boards, man. I think this guy is a real sleeper.
And I did some further research into Tyquan Thornton too, because I wanted to see if he was just like one of those speed guys, that you don't see much from besides like running verts. But he actually was running routes very well. He was pretty productive in college too. It's not like he was just one of those fast guys that doesn't really translate to NFL. He was productive in college too.
And I like his routes. He has good footwork. He runs his routes really smooth. He kind of runs his routes like Cooper Kupp, and I think he can be like that. He's just really really productive with what he does as a wide receiver. So
Yeah, I agree. I like him as like a deep threat who can also do other things as well. Little thin, but he can put on some more weight when he gets up to the NFL.
Yeah, he's 182, so he's not the biggest, but like you said, I think he can put on some weight. Have you guys heard of Derek Deese out of Derek Deese out of San Jose State?
Yeah, we were just talking about him actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
So around the Bay Area, I think, I'm not being biased, but if he comes to the Niners, that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. He's one of my favorite tight ends in the
draft
this year.
When do the Niners pick?
61. We don't have a first-round pick this year.
Yep.
You guys might have to move up.
Yeah, we have assets to move up, but
61.
we'll see what the Niners do.
Even the Saints pick 16, 19, and 49. So we have 3 picks in the top 50. We can really change our team this next year.
We'll take pick
sure.
49 from you for Jimmy G.
No,
we
should
right away.
I think the Saints should even move up. They could even move up from 16 to go get Desmond Ridder. I don't know how they'd make it happen, but they can make it happen. Desmond Ridder is the best quarterback in the draft to me. Sorry.
I've been in the perspective of trading up as a 49ers fan because we do have the assets to trade up from the second round into the back half of the first. Into the back end, we can get a guy like Jalen Petrie because we haven't drafted a corner before 2015 in a while, a secondary player, and I feel like all the good secondary players are going to be gone by pick 40. And I'm not saying Jalen Petrie is a sleeper, but there's definitely we have a chance to get him if we have the assets and we could trade up. And we don't have a first round pick this year, so that sucks.
Petrie's one of those versatile guys. He can cover the slot. He can play deep safety. He can play
for sure.
box safety, strong safety. He can do a plethora of things. So that's definitely somebody to keep your eye on.
Yep. He's really versatile like we have on the 49ers and Jimmy Ward, so I really like him.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Thanks for coming on, CarCast. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys for having me on, man. See you.
Thanks, boss.
Later. How come no one's talking about George Karl Laftis?
Oh, you're talking about the Purdue guy?
The DN out of Purdue. He and Aiden Hutchinson are maybe the best two D linemen coming out of college.
Are you saying this year, or
Kevin,
are you just saying in general?
Kayvon Thibodeau. What'd you say?
Are you saying this year?
Yeah, this year coming out.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
They're so disruptive. All three of those guys.
I think Karlaftis, he's fallen down boards because I haven't watched much of him since we don't have a first round pick, but I think people were saying he can't really win like with speed on the edge.
Have you saw his highlights?
No, I haven't watched him.
I need you to go ahead and do a little new tab. I promise you, he's nice. His highlights are really good. He beats people off the edge. He's fast. He can chase you from sideline to sideline. He's quick off the ball. He'll beat you with that first initial move. If you don't grab him, he's gone. He's nice. And then also, can people stop talking trash about Tua? This boy, I think this boy's about to go crazy this next year. He went this last season. He had 2,653 yards, 16 touchdowns for 10 interceptions. What was his problem? He needs blockers. If you watch any of those highlights, he needs people to block for him, and then he'll be good. They got they took Teron Armstead from the Saints, of course. They went and got what's his name, Connor Williams.
Dallas. The guy from Dallas too, the offensive lineman. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Connor Williams. Yeah, so they're going to be good. I think they'll be good. Of course, they got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. They got Mike Gesicki, Raheem Mostert. They picked up Chris Edmonds. They still got Myles Gaskin. So it's like that O-line and defense and just offense in general just looks crazy. But can we just talk about real quick the toughest division in football, which is going to be the AFC West this season? It's crazy. The Raiders, the Chargers, the Broncos, those teams right there, just they're going to be going neck and neck all season. Who do you think out of those three teams made the best additions in the offseason?
I'd probably say that's a tough one if I'm being honest. The Chargers made the best moves that no one's talking about. But
J.C. Jackson's a beast.
J.C. Jackson, Khalil
Mike
Mack.
Williams killed it last year.
Khalil Mack. Nobody talking about that. But
yeah, he just needs to get healthy. He'll be all right. They still got Joey Bosa.
Yeah, so
Derwin
the Raiders made the right moves too. It's going to be interesting. I don't know who made the best moves.
I think the Raiders need a couple pieces on the O-line. And then I think that they can go get a disruptive linebacker, maybe Christian Harris or Perion Winfrey, DeMarvin Leal, just someone that's just disruptive that's going to get in there and scare that quarterback.
Yeah,
help Chandler Jones and Max
players.
Crosby.
Very true. Yeah, an interior rusher. Every team needs interior rushers because they don't come around a lot in the league. And
I also I wrote down some picks for the top 3 picks, who I think So, the Jags picked first. I was looking at their highlights, looking at like who they were playing last year. They picked up a lot of guys in the offseason that really is going to help their team. But I think they can go with Kayvon Thibodeau. They can go with Aiden Hutchinson, Christian Harris, Daniel Fulalele at guard or tackle, Zion Johnson, George Karlaftis. I like Kenyon Green, O-lineman. Like I said, Jordan Davis is nice too, D-tackle. They can either go O-lineman, disruptive DN or linebacker, or they can go get a safety. They don't really have a safety that's really going to light it up right now. Kyle Hamilton's there. They say that the Lions can go get him, but I don't feel like the Lions need a safety right away with the second pick. I feel like the Lions should go – maybe they should go Desmond Ridder, Sauce Gardner, Bo Melton. They just need something. Like just like with the Texans, like their whole team is just not good. I say their best receiver right now is Amon St. Brown or DJ Chark Jr. So it's like they don't really have a lighted up player that's going to go out there and just kill it. They can pick anybody. Like I said, quarterback, DN, linebacker, O-line. They just need someone like best player available to just go help that team. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think they need a whole lot of help. Thanks for coming on, Dom.
No problem.
All right. Let's jump back into our sleepers. Defensive sleepers, go ahead with your D lineman.
So my D lineman that I wanted to highlight here, this is somebody who I was surprised that's not getting much hype on, given his production that he had in college and everything. Sam Williams out of Ole Miss. He had a great year last year. He had 13 sacks in the SEC, which is pretty hard to come by. You're playing against the best of the best in the SEC. He had 40 hurries last year as well, which is crazy. I want to pull up some highlights of him real quick just to show some of the reps, which is that he dominated in. Give me 1 second.
One thing with Sam Williams, he has some off the field stuff. It's probably a reason why he's not being talked about, but yeah, on the field, he's a good player.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So here I highlighted some plays. I kind of scrubbed through it already. Of course, he had some wins and stuff, but some of the plays I didn't show. So this is, again, he plays for Ole Miss, and this is against Texas A&M last year. All right.
Flush, flings it across the middle.
So here, Sam Williams, number 7 for Ole Miss. Oh, I went too far. 1 second. You guys can see that, right? Sam Williams, the highlight over here. And look, just the speed. He doesn't get the sack, but he gets the pressure, that pressure from the backside. I mean, look at the speed. He just absolutely blows past this offensive lineman. Boom, bend, get there. Doesn't get the sack, loses feet, but has that speed to force that quarterback out of the pocket, which is huge. Here is another one. I think for him, his projection coming out of college, he will have an instant impact year one. He might just be a third down guy, just a pure pass rusher type of player. But I think if you get him with the right coach, they can really develop him into something to where he can play almost every down. So here is another one at this play. Sam Williams playing right here. Blows it up. Look at that speed to get out. He gets blocked. He's manning the run right there. gets out, boom, makes the tackle on that quarterback, which is impressive for a
Is it
guy
supposed
his
to be this
size.
laggy?
Huh?
It's lagging terribly.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I won't show the highlights then. But yeah, somebody to keep your eye on for sure. Sam Williams at Ole Miss.
Yeah, Sam Williams is nice. My guy, Alex Wright, he's 6'5", 270 from UAB, smaller school. He had a 90.4 PFF grade this year. He only had 5 sacks, which is not very good, but he had 43 hurries. He was always near the quarterback. He just wasn't getting there like completely. Um, he has a lot of good pass rush moves. Like he's not just a bull rush guy. He's not just a speed guy. He uses his hands. He has spin moves. He has a bunch of different stuff he could do. Um, he didn't have a pro day because he had an injury at the combine. So he kind of is falling down boards because nobody's really seen what he's doing. You know what I mean? Um, so he could be a steal late. The 49ers have met with him. And you know the 49ers love dudes with traits, and he has all the traits you need. You just need to mold him. Go ahead and jump into your linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker for me, I had Leo Chanel. I'm not sure how you say channel. Out of Wisconsin. And I believe, wasn't Chris Borland from Wisconsin as well?
Yeah, Chris Borland was.
Yeah, so you get pretty good production from Wisconsin linebackers. He's 6'3", 250. He's a junior. So his stats, he had 74 tackles last year, with 25 assisted tackles, so over 100 tackles, or maybe just barely under 99. Only 12 missed tackles, which is impressive. He had 19 coverage stops, which was tied for 11th in college football. 44 run stops, which is tied for 9th. He had a 94.1 run defense grade and a 91.8 pass rush grade, which is pretty good.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I'm pretty sure he's going to go pretty early, but definitely somebody I think who will overperform his draft position by far.
Yeah, I think I've seen him. A lot of people are talking about him now. He's a good player.
Yeah.
My guy, I have James Houston. This one's kind of a cheat because he is a linebacker, also an edge though. Like he plays both. He was a Florida player, transferred to Jackson State with Deion Sanders. He was at the NFLPA and the Shrine Bowl, and he played both inside linebacker and edge there, and he did well. 6'1", 244. He had 22 bench reps, 39-inch vert, 4.6 40. In this past year at Jackson State, he had 59 tackles, 20.5 tackles for loss, 16 and a half sacks, and 7 forced fumbles. The dude is nasty. He played inside linebacker at Florida, and like he was good. But then this past year, he mostly played on the edge, and he was just nasty. Like even watching him at those bowl games, you just see the speed, the power. It just pops on tape. I think even if this dude goes in like the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, he's going to be a steal for a team. Just that versatility. But I really hope someone puts him on the edge because that's where you can see like the talent really pop off.
Yeah, and I think you're going to start seeing a lot more players getting drafted out of Jacksonville State, wherever it is, because you've seen this past year the number 1 recruit in the nation or something committed there. You know, I think with the NIL in college football, then obviously Deion Sanders, I think Jacksonville State's going to start to take off. And you're going to see a lot more talent come out of there. So this guy might be the first one, you know, to put that blueprint down for these other dudes like you can go to a smaller school and still get seen. Like what Jason Poe said, if you have talent, you're gonna get seen. He said that in our interview with him. If you have talent, you're gonna get seen, and I think Poe and like you said, him could be great examples of that.
Yeah, and we kind of skipped over O-line, but we talked about it. CG talked about it. Jason Poe, man, great player, great guy. The dude is an athletic monster. He's
Yeah.
gonna do well no matter where he goes. So yeah, let's hop into DBs. Who's your DB?
Go check out the interview too last week if you missed it of Jason Poe. It was a good interview. You get to see some highlights. So go check that out if you missed it. Here's Dom with Kenneth Walker, the running back out of Michigan State. Obviously, great production. You can always get those good running backs in like the early second round. So this is somebody to keep your eye on for sure. So my DB. We are going to start a new segment called Bully of the Week. In the offseason, I'm guessing it'll probably just be like college players. And then once the actual season comes around, we'll highlight a 49er each week that we thought played to the bully ball style of play. So the first bully ball of the week or bully of the week is Sterling Weatherford out of Miami, Ohio. He is a safety. He's 6'4", 225. So obviously he's a bigger dude, bigger guy for sure. But this dude will take your head off. He can hit like crazy. He is a bully. Let me see. I'm gonna try to show them some highlights of him, but if they don't turn out too well, let me know. Then we can stop.
Yeah, I watched him a little bit today, and yeah, he comes up and hits people. Looks a little slow to me on tape, but yeah, he's a big hitter. He's gonna come up and hit you. You better hold on to the ball because he's gonna come up and try to smack you.
Yeah. So like we said, he's a bigger dude. There he is coming off the edge. He can play in the box. He can play deep right there, getting a pick. Boom, taking people's heads off, like we said. That's a bully right there. That's somebody you are scared to come across the middle, getting sacks. Like, he can do it all. He can play deep, play in the box. I think that's what's key for the 49ers is Jaquiski Tart did that as well. He played deep and in the box.
Pretty clean hits too. He's hitting them hard. They're all looking pretty clean. Nothing that's gonna get a flag.
I mean, and you can see his size too, just on the film. Like you can see that he's a bigger dude. Again, Cincinnati right there. Like this dude's a bully. Somebody to keep your eye on for sure. So that's our first bully of the week and my sleeper for the DB position. So like we said, so here's his snaps by alignment last year, which is to show us his versatility. He had 52 D-line snaps. He had 87 slot snaps, 16 at corner, 235 in the box, and 354 deep. So that's versatility. That's like a Jordan Simmons with the Cardinals now, who can play linebacker. He can play that safety. He has that versatility to where he can come off the edge. He can play pretty much wherever, which is, like we said before, versatility is key because teams, if they can save a player like a slot on the roster for one guy that can play multiple positions, they're going to do that. So that's my sleeper and first bully of the week.
My DB sleeper, his name's Isaiah Polamau from USC. He's 6'4", 212. He's a safety. And you haven't really heard about him at all in this draft process for some reason. He's Troy Polamalu's nephew. He ran a 4.5 140 at his pro day, but people were saying it was like 4.4 4.3, but that's what USC put out, 4.51. But for a big dude, 6'4", not bad. He's better against the pass than he is against the run. His best year was in 2019, which is probably why he hasn't been talked about as much because he kind of fell off. But that year he had 73 tackles, 5.5 for loss, 1.5 sacks, and 4 interceptions. And I believe that was playing with Hufanga. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Um, he seems like he could develop into a good deep safety. He needs to work on his run fits, obviously, but he has pretty good ball skills. He needs to go into a good DB room so they can mold him. He has a size, intangibles, but I think it's going to depend where he gets drafted or if he's undrafted, what team he goes to. But he's kind of like a ball of clay, just needs to be molded. And I think he could end up being a good player in the NFL.
Yeah. And does he play box or does he play deep? Is he stronger
He's
free
more of
safety?
he plays more of a deep safety, but they USC kind of plays them how the 49ers do. They kind of have to do both.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, because like you said, he needs time to develop, and the 49ers can do that behind Jimmy Ward because I think we have him for another year or two. So let him develop under him and then end up taking over when Jimmy Ward's contract would be up. So then you'd have two USC safeties if Hufanga's still around or if he's starting around that time too, which will be interesting. You have a good camaraderie between them, so something to watch.
You got any other guys, any honorable mentions?
I mean, we talked about some people. I don't want to go too deep into Poe because we did the whole interview with him last week. Cam Jurgens, probably one of my favorite offensive linemen in this draft. He's a center out of Nebraska. Dude, at Nebraska, they had him like pulling as a center, pulling out, and he was looking athletic, driving people down the field. That's definitely somebody that's I'm interested in for sure.
I have an honorable mention. Tanner Connor from Idaho State. He's a 6'3", 230-pound wide receiver. He's a track champion in college. He did hurdles, and he was a champion. He ran a 4.37 40, 39.5-inch vert, and he did 19 bench reps. He was at one of the bowl games, and they said he was cooking people. Not a lot of college production because the school he came from didn't really throw the ball, but that's a dude you might be able to get undrafted. That he has everything that you want. He just needs reps and he needs to work on his routes. So that's another dude that you could mold into whatever you want.
Do you want to touch on Devin Tompkins too, since he was on the thumbnail?
Yeah, Devin Tompkins, he's from Utah State. He's a tiny guy, 5'7", 167. Ran a 4.35 40, 6.93 cone. He had an 11 foot broad jump and a 38.5-inch vert, which for being that small, that's pretty good. The big thing with him is he produced. The dude had 102 receptions for 1,704 yards and 10 TDs. He can take the top off, and he fights for contested catches, even though he's so small. He can jump high. He's going to be in a slot in the NFL, but if you need a guy that can take, coverage deep, take the top off, he's a good guy for you. He's one of those guys you want to try to get him the ball, bubble screens, stuff like that. Probably a 7th round pick. And, he could end up producing for a team that needs a slot. Kind of like Kyle Phillips, but his route tree isn't as nuanced.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like CG mentioned earlier too, Alec Pierce would be somebody that I would keep my eye on if the 49ers stay at 61 too, because that dude's legit out of the slot. He can take that like Cooper Kupp role. I mean, they're different players, of course, because Alec Pierce is a lot faster. But I think if you can get like an Alec Pierce in the slot and have Debo and then Ayuk on the outside. I think that's would be you're putting all the talent around Trey to where he could succeed. Like he should succeed with that talent. So Alec Pierce, definitely somebody I would be watching for at pick 61.
Yes, sir. Draft is coming up 11 days. I'm going to try to be live whenever the 49ers are coming up. So tune in with us. It's going to be fun. We're going to do a shadow draft of who we would have took when the 49ers draft. So that's going to be fun. If you're watching this video not live, drop down below your NFL draft sleepers for this draft. We thank everybody that came on. And before we get off, talk to the people about Debo. What are your thoughts on the situation?
Do you want my thoughts on what the fans are doing, or like how Debo hasn't signed yet, or what? I mean, obviously Debo's going to get paid. The fans leaving death threats and stuff is ridiculous because there's no reason to be doing that. Like, he's just trying to get his money that he deserves. He has a family, he has people that he needs to take care of. So if you put yourself in those shoes, it is a business. Like, you see David Ojabo, the guy out of Michigan who tore his Achilles at his pro day. And all these coaches and GMs don't even go to him or rush to him to like help him, see if he's okay. They just like move on with the drill. I think that shows that it's really a business. It's a business. If you get hurt, if something happens to you, whatever, they'll move on from you. They don't have any loyalty to you as a player. So why should a player reciprocate that if the team's not going to? So sending death threats and stuff isn't going to like help anything. So definitely don't do that. Debo is going to get paid. I don't think there's any way that the Niners let him go. I don't believe that we're listening to trade offers or any of that other stuff. I don't believe any of it. I think Debo is going to be a Niner for the long run.
Yeah, if you're a fan, if you say you're a fan and you leave death threats or say racial slurs to a player, you're not a fan. You can leave that. You're not a fan. You're just leave. Don't say anything. Just walk away. Go somewhere else. We don't want you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want you as an NFL fan. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope Debo gets what he deserves. The dude is one of the best players in the NFL, let alone wide receiver, running, whatever you want to say. The dude deserves his money. He's gonna get it from somebody, and he deserves it. I hope the 49ers pay him. And the 49ers usually wait until training camp to pay people. So expect it
Fred
around
Warner,
then.
Kittle.
Yep. But yeah, if you're a fan that's threatening people or anything like that, just leave, please. Don't
and you
watch
can't
sports. Go do something else.
you can't be hoorah and Debo like, oh, I love Debo in the regular season, and then just because he wants to get paid now you want to act all crazy. Like, no, that doesn't work. I think you gotta move on with that. You can't be doing that stuff. Like, the dude's just trying to take care of his family and himself, so there's no reason to be doing. If you were in his shoes, you would be doing the same thing. Yeah. So
And like
that's my
I made a
thoughts on
Twitter
it.
post earlier this week. You know, you say you're a fan of the team, but you're really a fan of the players on that team. So you could be a diehard 49er fan, man, but you're actually watching the players that play for that team. So that means you should be a fan of the players. You should hope they succeed and do well. So nobody should be doing that stuff. If you are, stop, please. I love Debo. Come on the show, Debo. Tell the people what's up.
Yeah. Yep. You have any closing thoughts besides that?
Nope, but just we thank everybody that came on. You know, it was fun talking draft. You know, we're diehard 49er fans too. We love the players. Any college players want to get interviewed, come on. We'll talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks CG for coming on. Jason Poe, thanks for coming on last week. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. What about you?
Yep. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know, we're trying to grow this thing. Let us know if you're still watching at this point. Let us know of the new intro. You got that new intro made.
Yeah,
I
let
know it
us
was
know
kind
what
of
you thought of
loud.
the intro.
I know it was loud, so hopefully you guys didn't blow any eardrums or anything, but let us know if you guys like it. And if you're a true fan, let us know where that performance was from, because that was a live performance from Future, and let us know where it was from if you're watching at this point. All right. That's it for me.
Also, let us know what you think of the outro. We played it last week on the Jason Poe interview at the end. We'll play it again at the end of this one. Let us know what you think of that as well. All
Yep.
right. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace.